All right, good afternoon and good evening. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy in Chief David Reimer. It is about 5:45 on the 30th of January 2023, Monday evening. We've definitely had impactful winter weather this afternoon and this morning across several regions of Texas, and we're going to see a bit of a lull this evening before heavier precipitation returns tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon. A bit of a lull tomorrow evening again, and then Wednesday is looking more problematic, unfortunately. Let's just head on over, take a look at timing aspects. That's why we're here. I want to look at the timing impacts when we're going to see our next waves of precipitation. Then we'll look at the latest accumulation forecasts. So again, this is going to be, let me make sure I actually have the right, yeah, we do. This is going to be the high resolution rapid refresh model essentially tonight through Wednesday morning. Now, this is going to loop through several times, so if you miss it first go, just keep an eye on it and I'll narrate. Again, freezing drizzle is going to be a possibility tonight across pretty much areas where we're below freezing. It is not going to show up on the weather radar. It's going to be misty, almost like a fog of sorts. And trust me, do not underestimate the potential for freezing drizzle to cause great mischief in terms of travel conditions. It'll turn everything into a layer of very thin ice or deposit a thin layer of ice on top of the other ice that's already accumulated. One way to think of it is it's going to be slicker than bull snot in terms of the potential for roads and bridges. Given the fact we've seen accumulations on surface roads where temperatures are below about 29 to 30 degrees, it is entirely plausible this is going to keep everything slick overnight. As we head into the morning hours on Tuesday, probably by the morning commute, we're going to see additional heavy precipitation develop across the Concho Valley, the Big Country, the Hill Country, Central Texas. Yep. My life. Can you hear me? I'm good. Okay, so let's try that again. Tomorrow morning, morning commute, and to the morning hours Tuesday, the potential for freezing rain, sleet, and freezing drizzle across the Hill Country, the Concho Valley, the Big Country, Central Texas, North Texas, Texoma, Northwest Texas, into southern Oklahoma. Like this morning, not everyone's going to see it, but those who do will see accumulations pretty quickly. So we may also see pockets of thunderstorms again tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. That would deposit a very quick accumulation up to 1 inch of sleet, which would turn everything into very slick conditions. We may see a lull tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening before our next round of precipitation arrives Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon. Previously, we were talking about how temperatures were going to slowly warm on Wednesday and get us above freezing from south to north. That still looks to be the case, but we are becoming more concerned this cold air is going to try and stick around a little more tough than we previously expected. So that may result in the freezing line staying, further south, or at least not receding north as quickly as we thought on Wednesday. As you can see with this model graphic, we're expecting a pretty good wave of widespread to heavy precipitation on Wednesday. So if we do not get above freezing, and that is becoming an increasing possibility in North Texas, the Big Country, into Texoma, maybe even parts of the Hill Country, we are going to have significant problems because that would be freezing rain. And we're going to see a pretty good boatload of it. So there is definitely concern we're going to have impacts continue into Wednesday across parts of the Permian Basin, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, possibly the Hill Country, North Texas, Texoma, North Texas, and Northeast Texas. Now, we'll refine the Wednesday aspect of this system as we get into tomorrow, but clear indications are at this point. Round one was today. We're going to see a lull this evening into tonight with some freezing drizzle continuing. Measurable to heavier precipitation returns Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon. That will cause a whole boatload of issues on roads again. If we have any roads that aren't already problematic in spots, they're going to be by tomorrow afternoon. Then we're going to see a pretty widespread wave of precipitation Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, where the freezing line is supposed to start slowly moving north, but how quickly that happens is still up in the air. And concerns increasing that's not going to be as quick as we thought, which would result in big-time problems. As you can see by the end of that model animation, we've got a whole boatload of precipitation coming in. Now, let's talk about the ice. This is the forecast potential for ice accumulations tomorrow morning through Wednesday afternoon. This is on top of what has fallen today. This does not include what has fallen today. This is all additional. The potential is there for a major ice storm across the Big Country, the Concho Valley, the Hill Country, Central Texas, North Texas, Texoma, into northern portions of the Brazos Valley, Northeast Texas, and the Permian Basin. Now, where temperatures are between 30 and 32 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to try and keep most of the accumulations of travel-related issues confined to elevated surfaces, bridges, overpasses, trees, power lines for accumulations, where temperatures are below about 29 degrees, which they are for pretty much San Angelo, Waco, Tyler North, and west at this point, at least by tomorrow. The potential will exist for freezing rain and sleet to accumulate on all surfaces, including surface roads. And again, travel's not going to be good. Travel's just going to be nasty sauce. Tonight, it's going to get worse tomorrow and more widespread. Tomorrow night, just don't bet on it. And then Wednesday morning, no. And that may continue through most of Wednesday. The more accumulation we get down, the harder it's going to be for temperatures to rise. And definitely becoming more concerned Wednesday that temperatures are going to be colder than we previously thought, which would allow for additional accumulations of ice. Now, the problem with this is if we have sleet, yes, travel's going to be a nightmare regardless. If it is sleet, that tends to not accumulate as easily on power lines and trees and weigh them down. Where we have freezing rain, that will stick to power lines, that will stick to trees, and we're already starting to see some accumulations become heavy enough to cause some drooping of tree branches in the hill country, Central Texas. That is going to get much worse tomorrow into Wednesday morning. And there is definitely concern now that we may see enough ice accumulation if we have all this as freezing rain to cause damage to trees and damage to power infrastructure. If this were to all fall as freezing rain and be a worst case scenario, we could see, for all intent and purposes, a crippling ice storm, which would result in the potential for power outages to be more widespread, trees to come down, and then of course you have issues with all that. Compared to 2021, this is not 2021 repeat of February. If we have power issues, it is going to be because of actual physical damage to power lines, not a repeat of the whole widespread power grid failure in terms of power generation. So let's make that abundantly clear. Now, the good news is we are anticipating a rise in temperatures Wednesday night into Thursday. That will get us above freezing by Thursday. But how quickly that temperature warmth occurs on Wednesday will determine how quickly we can change over from freezing rain and sleet to pure rain. We're trending colder, which would result in more accumulations of ice. And of course, a prolongment of the travel difficulties. As we get into the weekend, the good news is it's going to be in the 60s by the weekend. We just need to get through tomorrow and Wednesday. And frankly, some folks are probably still going to have ice accumulations in the process of melting by Thursday, especially the further north you go. So, clear-cut message here is 1, lull in precipitation for this evening, into about midnight. Freezing drizzle, that's still going to be around and cause issues. Tomorrow, heavy precipitation causing widespread issues. Pretty much hill country, Concho Valley, central Texas, north into Oklahoma. This isn't going to really impact the panhandle. This is going to be a skirting blow for the Permian Basin in West Texas most of tomorrow. Tuesday night and Wednesday, this will expand a bit further west into the Permian Basin, West Texas, while we see additional heavy precipitation, possibly even thunderstorms, tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night, Wednesday morning across the big country, the Concho Valley, the hill country, northwest Texas, North Texas, central Texas, Texoma, and parts of northeast Texas. Where these thunderstorms occur, and yes, the reason that's happening is about 1,000 feet above the ground, it's still about 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's instability. Where those storms occur, we could get a quick half-inch, 2-inch of sleet accumulation. It's going to sound like World War III outside in terms of all that sleet coming down so quickly with the thunder and all that. That will make everything just ice instantly. So again, clear-cut message. Round 1 this afternoon, winding down. Bit of a lull, freezing drizzle. Round 2, late tonight, Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon. Maybe a little bit of a break, late Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Maybe not. Round 3, and that could be a pretty big doozy. Late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. Those of you above freezing, it's going to be rain. Those of you below freezing, freezing rain with pockets of sleet. How quickly we can get the freezing line to start moving north Wednesday is going to be a big determining factor in terms of how much additional accumulation we could have. And some models suggest it's not going to get warm enough quickly to prevent a big-time problem in the ice storm department. Good news is we are going to start warming up even Wednesday night as warm air advection starts pumping some warmer temperatures north, and that'll help push the freezing line north slowly. And then we could start the process of melting. And that'll continue into Thursday, and then by the weekend it's going to be in the 60s. So we'll be keeping an eye on things here at the Texas Storm Chasers. We do have people out and about streaming the traffic chaos on DFW. Same thing for tomorrow and Wednesday. You can watch those feeds on our YouTube channel, Texas Storm Chasers. And for Texas weather-specific forecasts, be sure to subscribe to our new YouTube channel. That's going to be the Texas Weather Center on YouTube. We're trying to get that up to 1,000 likes, so please head on over, click that thumbs up button, give us that subscribe, get notified when we post Texas weather-related updates. And, of course, we'll be here for y'all. So, again, it's going to be a rough couple of days for parts of the state, but just try and stay home. If you can't, give yourself 2 to 3 times extra time in terms of traveling. Take it slow. Have some supplies in your car in case you get stranded, and it'll be okay. So, we've dealt with this before. We'll deal with it again. At least it's not going to be below zero this time. So, we'll be here dealing with that, and we'll keep y'all updated. So, have a good evening. We'll definitely have a full weather forecast video out by 6 a.m. Tuesday, sooner if necessary.